Students of Standard 8, we have already started with the chapter The Salient Features of Our Constitution. Now, in the salient features of our Constitution, so far we completed the meaning of the directive principles, then we completed the sources of the directive principles. Today we'll be doing importance of the directive principles. Now you have to know that fundamental rights are justiciable, but directive principles are non-justiciable. See here, the main difference here, fundamental rights are justiciable and the directive principles are non-justiciable. Okay, then you have, what do you mean by justiciable? Justiciable means we can move to the court to get our rights. Okay, justiciable means we can move to the court to get our rights, but you cannot move to the court to force the government to implement the directive principle, that is non justiciable. Okay, despite these limitations, the directive principles are very, very important. This importance stems for the following. Now, directive principles are made in the nature of a pledge made by the framers of the Constitution to provide to the people of India. They provide a framework, political, social, and economic program for the modern democratic state. The next you have, the directive principles give guidelines. This is very, very important. It gives guidelines to the government to make law and draft their policies according to these fundamental principles, which summarize the objectives of our constitution. They provide an element of permanence in the democracy. They provide a measure to judge the government performance. Then the directive principle direct the government to move towards the goal of welfare state. They reflect the idea of justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity mentioned in the preamble. Then we have some more importance given in the book, like for example, they provide a direction to courts in respect of safeguarding the rights of the citizens. Then, since public opinion backs the directive principles, the goal of establishing social and economic order is clearly laid out before the government. The next thing which you have to know, it's about welfare state. Now, the Constitution of India seeks to establish a welfare state. Even the target of the directive principle is to establish a welfare state. But what is a welfare state? A welfare state is a state which seeks to ensure the maximum happiness of maximum number of people living within its territory. Okay. Now here the Constitution of India seeks to establish India as a welfare state. But word welfare state is not specifically mentioned in the Constitution. And the aims and objectives of the welfare state are clearly pointed out in the directive principle. As I told you that the target of the directive principle is to achieve a welfare state. Now, these directives emphasize that the goal of Indian polity is a welfare state where the state has a positive duty to ensure to its citizens social and economic justice, and state government have over the past 6 decades taken steps to implement directive principles which aims at establishing social economic democracy, the basic goal of a welfare state. Now, our planning process of the 5 year plans are directed towards achieving this goal. The next after welfare state, which you have to remember, it's about social equality and justice. Okay, this is social equality and justice. the work done by the government to achieve social equality and justice to the people. Number one, Right to Education Act. Now, what is this right to education? It is mandatory for every child between the age of 6 to 14 to be provided free education in all government aided schools. And the act also required all private schools to reserve 25% seats for the children belonging to economically weaker sections of the society as a part of the public private partnership plan. The next you have social a special scholarship are provided to socially and economically weaker section of the society. Okay, socially and economically weaker section of the society, special scholarships are provided. Now, there is a system of reservation of seats in jobs and educational institution for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Okay, reservation of seats in jobs as well as in the educational institution. For whom? For scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Then, one of the major objective of 5-year plan is to focus on welfare and progress of the weaker section. Focus on welfare and progress of the weaker section of the society. And see the last thing, untouchability has been made an offense punishable by law. So if anyone practices untouchability is punishable. It is punishable. This is mainly done for the social equality. So, lot of work done by the government. Here, few it's mentioned. Right to Education Act is made. Then you see special scholarship to the weaker section, especially social and economically weaker section. Then your seats are reserved for the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. Then one of the major objective of 5-year plan is to focus on the welfare and progress of the weaker section of the society. And the last thing which you have to study is practicing of untouchability has been made offense punishable by law. So you studied about importance, then you studied welfare state and social economic and justice, social equality and justice. So this we completed today's class. Please go through and learn. Okay, thank you very much.